Hi everybody, David Calderon here, and today I am making, well, I'm not making, this is my first ever episode, since of what happened to G4, and for this one, I'm calling it Revenge of the Show. Like a comeback after what happened to G4's second shutdown. And I'm still pretty bummed about it. So is the rest of all the people who were laid off. The people who worked so hard to get on G4. But I'm not giving up on G4. So here it is, my first ever episode of Revenge of the Show. You know, with it being almost Halloween, and with today being my birthday, with today being my birthday, today is the 28th, and I was born on the 28th of 1992. So here's what I'm gonna be talking about, like entertainment, something that's been happening around the world, and also gaming. So let me get on first of all straight with what's been happening around this past week. And the first thing I'd like to talk about, with my mask and all, CM Punk. So here's what I've heard about. It's what happened with the media scrum after All Out, like the aftermath of All Out. We know that there was a backstage fight, unscripted and everything, and that CM Punk and the Elite were suspended, and that CM Punk was injured, but not during the media scrum, but because of it was during his match. And so far, it's 7 more months until CM Punk recovers. I'm not giving up on CM Punk because so far on Twitter, people seem to have there's been like 50-50 of people wanting him to come back, people who don't. But I'm like the 1%. I'm like the 1%, the extra 1%, which is like 51% for people who want CM Punk to come back. But it's going to be like 7 more months because at All Out they said he was injured and he's going to be in the ring for 8 months. So he's already dealing with it, okay? But apart from that, here's what happened after then. It turns out CM Punk's friend Ace Steel was suspended. Well, it was also suspended, but now he has been CM Punk has been, not CM Punk, Ace Steel. CM Punk's friend Ace Steel, who was like mostly his friend and trainer that I know of, who convinced CM Punk to sign the contract for the rematch at All Out, but now that I heard that he no longer works in AEW, Ace Steel, because so far what I heard during the backstage fight, that he threw a chair at one of the Jackson brothers and bit one of them. So that's like absolutely crazy. But soon, a few days after that, CM Punk's dog was also. I found out that CM Punk's dog was also backstage. Yes, he brought his dog backstage. But during the backstage fight, I guess the fight started when somebody kicked the door in, and his dog got hit right in the face. Two of the dog's teeth were loosened and had to be removed. And I feel bad for CM Punk. I mean, again, injured and suspended for one thing, but what happened to his dog is another. You should not mess with man's best friend. That's really horrible. So apparently somebody, like, who on earth kicked that door? Who on earth would do that to a dog? All I can say is I think that the Jackson brothers are going to be coming back, but I don't think Kenny Omega will for a while. Because if one of them did that to the dog, then there would be problems. So that's what there is about what happened in the media scrum, what I heard of this week. But there was also issues with Kanye West, what I heard about yesterday. Like, I heard that Kanye West made anti-Semitic comments. And now that it's becoming way more problematic because Adidas is through with Kanye. yeah. So I guess it would. So I guess with those Yeezys, those shoes. To me, they look like Crocs, like Crocs style, if you know what I mean. But apart from that, like Kanye's getting issues with that, especially what will happen, especially with the issue with his custody with his kids. It might be worse if that happens. Because if that happens, like Kanye won't be able to see his kids, and he has like four of them with Kim Kardashian. And now they're divorced, from what I heard. Yeah, they had marriage problems about like a long time ago, like about a year ago, from what I heard. But it's not just Kanye West that's dealing with some issues from what I heard of. But there's also like what's happening around the UK. I mean, I'm not much for politics, but for politics in the UK is just completely out of control. I mean, before Queen Elizabeth II's death, God rest her soul, there's also issues with the country of the United Kingdom. I mean, from their new, well, now former Prime Minister Liz Truss. Well, I know her first name is Liz, but she was. People did not like what her contingency plan was on for the economy for Britain. I mean, it went downhill completely in months, especially after Queen Elizabeth's death. And now there's going to be another election coming up for the UK for a new prime minister. But apart from that, I mean, there's also, not that much on United Kingdom politics anyway. But there's other things. So I would literally want to show videos like the feed, but there's post feed after G4. Yeah, now there's a show called Post Feed after G4. But now I'm still trying to help bring the exit back. I mean, well, there's one thing. Elon Musk's sale on Twitter. It went through. He now owns Twitter now. You should also buy G4TV. I still can't believe what happened to G4TV. I mean, for the second time. I mean, only 1,000 people watched it, and way before a year. Well, I mean, like a month ahead of this year. Like a month ahead before. I mean, it debuted last year on November 18th in 2021. But there were low viewerships, especially in their streaming shows on Twitch and YouTube. Heck, I even tried to become one of the main G4 people, like putting in my tweets, David Calderon for G4, because of their hashtag G4 needs talent. But I'm still gonna try and keep the word on keeping G4 alive. Speaking of which, yesterday, their official website, they finally closed it down. I mean, before that, it was their G4 G4shop.com. Still unbelievable. I mean, their last thing is said on that website, that when they closed it, was just an image of a guy walking out of the logo saying, "We stopped playing." Well, they stopped playing for now, but I'm not giving up on G4. And soon later after that, they changed it from said, "We never stopped playing." And I believe that, and we never will. Okay, what else to talk about? Oh, yeah. Well, about last week, I did go see Black Adam. It was one of the best DC movies ever, apart from Shazam, in which their sequel is going to come out. And yes, it is connected to Shazam. Yeah. Oh yeah, and like Shazam is connected with the regular DC movies like Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Suicide Squad. The one with Zack Ryder, the one with Zack Snyder directing that one. Okay, I have taken off my mask now because like it's getting a little too tight, and I don't want to wear it out. Yeah, I don't want to wear out my mask. And another thing to talk about. Well, another thing to talk about, well, there's the one stuff that I can give you intel on the feed. And that one I can tell you about the one chip challenge. I don't know if anybody ever talked about that, but I mean, I seen it about like a few weeks ago of people doing this year's one chip challenge, and I for one managed to do the one chip challenge not once but twice. I mean, last year I did the one in 2021. Yeah, which of course was problematic, especially on a hot summer day. But then, but I managed to overcome it, and after 30 minutes, I tried it the first time, and the year before that, that was the first time I did it in 2020. I mean, it was hard on my my tongue and my lips, but there was no way I was going to do this year's one chip challenge. Yeah, there was no way I was going to do this year's one chip challenge. Because I've seen the videos of people doing the one chip challenge for this year in 2022. It's the one that turns your tongue blue. I for one wanted to try it, but after seeing the rest of the videos, nobody ever managed to go over 5 minutes. I mean, I know Tony Hawk went through 5 minutes with that guy who was with the guy in the Hot Ones video, the Hot Ones channel. But yeah, for them it was really hard for all of them. I mean, they tried not to talk that much. I mean, that one was just nuts, especially for some people. I don't know if some people were, if some of the people who did it were beginners, but it was really dangerous. I know this one person who freaked out after smelling it. Like, well, like, and then after he just went all crazy and that stuff. I mean, that was mental and hurtful for him because it was so hot. There was also another video in which the guy did the one chip challenge, I think in 5 minutes, but not with just that chip, but also with the hottest hot sauce ever. If you guys know what I mean, then you can take a look on YouTube and find it. But that was just crazy. Some people didn't really feel the fact that he until like a few seconds. I saw this video clad of TikTok videos of people doing a one chip challenge. One moment gonna get through a minute and drink milk, but then after there was a second of her vomiting blue milk. One person was also eating bread after feeling the effects. And then there was another person who only took a chunk of the chip, a small chunk of the chip. Yeah, he took a small chunk of the chip and ate it, and it was literally set him on fire from the inside. And he got more than a runny nose. He got a bloody nose. That was just nuts. Really nuts. But enough about the one chip challenge. Let's talk about if you think the one chip challenge was one thing. Wait until you see Terrifier 2. I did not see it. Apart from the one chip challenge, there's also Terrifier 2. It's this horror movie. It's a sequel to Terrifier, I guess. But this is the first I've ever heard of that one about a week ago. I even saw the poster. I saw the poster for it, not the trailer. Like, but what I heard about Terrifier 2, I heard this movie is not more than just horrifying. It's also gorifying. Like, it's so chilling and gorifying. It's making people vomit and pass out. That would have to be like the most. It had to be more. That would be more than scary. Because like who knows if people can actually go through a minute. If it's that, because with that, I wouldn't want to see something like that. I mean, I want to keep my food down, especially in the theaters. I feel bad for the people who have to clean that up. But it's not stopping Terrifier 2 in the box office. From what I heard, they've been doing really good. There's some people like to have a real. And besides, it is October, and we're only 3 days away to Halloween. Okay, now then, let's talk about sports. Well, in other words, wrestling. You know, and this one's for Apollo. This one's for you, Xavier Woods, and for some people who want to call him Apollo Creed. Apollo, no, not Apollo. Uh, Austin Creed. Yeah. This one's for Austin Creed. Now let's talk about wrestling. Yeah. And first of all, it's WWE, and the one thing I want to talk about is the main event, and that one is Roman Reigns against Logan Paul. Which I'm hoping that Logan Paul does get the chance to take Roman Reigns out and win the championship, because it has been completely ridiculous. I don't even care what the officials think. Logan Paul needs to do whatever he can to win that championship, and I mean whatever. I'm serious. I mean, it's been over 2 years, but even with a streak like that, Roman being the champion for that long is just getting boring. There's also tons of people who have had enough of Roman Reigns being champion. Same for the Usos, the Uso brothers. I mean, I was hoping, for the Usos, we needed to defend their title in a tables, ladders, and chairs match at Crown Jewel. Because, and not just with one tag team, with 3 other tag teams. I mean, who doesn't want a fatal 4-way tag team ladder match? I mean, who doesn't want a fatal 4-way tag team ladder match at Crown Jewel? I for one like to see it. I go with you, so they want to go against the Judgment. They want to go against the Judgment Day. That's the tag team. And then there's Hit Row, another tag team. And then the other one would just have to be a mystery. But for Logan, I'm just hoping that he will be able to become the champion, or at least get one of the titles. Because I heard rumor that Roman Reigns needs to lose one of his titles before WrestleMania. As for Rey Mysterio, he's officially back on Friday Night SmackDown. I guess he needed a difference after what happened with him and his son Dominic. And from right now that I heard that he's right now the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther, which I still call Walter. But right now, today is Friday, and who knows what will happen then. As for what was that guy's name? The new Mr. Money, the Mr. Money in the Bank, Austin Theory. I guess he kind of realized that he doesn't have the chance to get to become the new undisputed WWE champion. So I guess he's just going after the NXT champion, for what I know. But luckily, he didn't do that at the NXT Halloween Havoc. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Braun Breaker, he managed to defend his NXT title against the two other opponents. As for NXT Europe, that's going to be next year. But my question is, what would their main title be? Will it be the NXT European Championship? Because that doesn't sound good to me. I prefer the classic WWE European Championship. And it shouldn't be defended for just NXT Europe. It should be defended for all brands, and not just NXT, for Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. That's good. Okay, the next thing for wrestling is all Elite Wrestling. And that would say I want to talk about the Elite. Kenny Omega and the Jackson brothers. And right now, we saw a video about them being erased from AEW history, both Kenny Omega and the Jackson brothers, vanishing, vanishing throughout history, especially with the E and AEW, or the AEW logo. But will they be returning soon, or will we get news from them themselves? All I know is when all three of them come back, they're gonna go after for what they won the first time and gonna get that back, the AEW World Trios Championship, and they're not going down without a fight. I hear you on that. As for what happened with Hangman Adam Page, I mean, it was upsetting to see what happened to him, what John Moxley did to him. So far, there was a tweet about a week or two ago that he's recovering, but he's suffering from a concussion after that. I mean, that was just unbelievable seeing that. I prefer cheering. I prefer giving them just a cheer in the face, but not a concussion like that. That's just nuts. And sorry about how I'm doing Revenge of the Show, and for that, why I'm calling it Revenge of the Show, because like as I said, what happened with G4TV. I prefer the regular television channel because I was hoping for other things to come back on G4. I mean, apart from the Attack of the Show and X Play, there was also some, and apart from Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, bringing back Arena for a while. There was just a devastating. I mean, I was hoping for other regular programming blocks, of course, like the late night programming block, the barbed wire biscuit. I mean, but either way, without Attack of the Show, we wouldn't have had Happy Tree Friends. But if we didn't have the Happy Tree Friends, we wouldn't have had the barbed wire biscuit. I mean, that was a late night programming block, and that was also how I watched Brainiac Science Abuse. I was really hoping they would bring that back. And besides, for G4, I mean, without that, we wouldn't have had Ninja Warrior. I mean, they showed the original Ninja Warrior, which was called Sasuke, which is still currently running. I was even watching the new ones they had. I mean, from the previous ones, since they couldn't show it on G4. They couldn't show it then on G4 because it was closed down in 2014, but then they did. But right now, the channel is going to be closed on November 18th on Verizon Fios. Who knows what'll happen then? But right now I'm calling this Revenge of the Show because, when the Attack of the Show first premiered, when I found out more about it, that title was a homage to Star Wars Attack of the Clones. So they called it Attack of the Show. And besides, my title, Revenge of the Show, is like a homage to the regular title for Return of the Jedi, which was Revenge of the Jedi, or for Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. But I'm not calling myself the Sith. This is it's like for Return of the Jedi, which was originally Revenge of the Jedi. So I'm calling this Revenge of the Show. Some things are just right now, until I find out, this is I don't know how I'm going to be doing my show. I don't know how I'm going to be doing Revenge of the Show until I find a nice place to go to. But I'll make do with what I got. I mean, I'm using my phone right here. Yeah, I'm using my phone right here. Besides, I don't want Revenge of the Show to be like Last Call with Carson Daly when they have less of a studio and more going out sometimes. It wasn't really my kind of thing. It wasn't really the same after that. Yeah. Right now I'm going to talk about video games. Okay, let's talk about, alright, like I said, But video games, the first thing I want to talk about is Silent Hill 2. I mean, it's all good knowing that there's going to be a remake of Silent Hill 2, but why Silent Hill 2? Why not start with Silent Hill 1 first? If that thing's so much of a classic that it doesn't want to get remade, I mean, it's kind of odd, you know. I mean, I'm all for. I'm not. I mean, it's not like. Like I. I mean, it's not like I. It's not like I don't like. It's not like I don't want Silent Hill 2 to be remade. But why are they doing Silent Hill 2 first? It's like. I heard the scenarios of the video game from what I know. I mean, it's about this guy who has to go back in Silent Hill 2 after receiving a message from his dead wife. And it's way different from the first game. Because with Silent Hill 2, it's like, apart from the main character, there's also other characters who were asked to be there. Yeah, other characters who were asked to be there to go to Silent Hill. And they see the creatures in a very different way. But with Silent, I mean, I'm not, it's not like I don't want to get Silent Hill 2 to be remade, but they should still remake the original Silent Hill game. Apart from the video game remake, there's going to be a direct sequel. That's a direct sequel to the first one. Like apart from the other one, they mean Silent Hill Revelation 3D. I mean, that's not a bad sequel for that one, but who knows what that one will be? Will Sean Bean return for that one? Probably not, because the original director Christopher Gaines is going to be returning as the director for that sequel. Well, apart from Silent Hill 2, there's also Resident Evil 4. That one's also getting the remake scenario, and it's going to be released in March 2023. So who knows what kind of details are going to be. I've seen the differences between the original games and with Resident Evil 2 and 3. And it was way different, so who knows how different this one will be in Resident Evil 4. Okay, so after those video games, there's also going to be called this. There's also going to be a new Sonic video game, like Sonic Forces. That's what it's called. Like, and I've also seen the gameplay for it. Like, you play as Sonic, you run fast, you go through these obstacle courses, and you have to take on these new enemies. I saw it at GameStop a little bit earlier. You guys are gonna love it. Soon when I get the game, I'll start making a review of it if I can. But for right now, here's what I like to say: the top five games who need a remake. Number 5, is Gex. Gex the Gecko. He first started in for the 3DO interactive, the 3DO console. But it was also released on PlayStation and Nintendo 64. But soon it managed to get big on PlayStation with the next 3 sequels. That's pretty good. Plus, there was also a voice actor for the voice actor who was in all 3 games. Wasn't really that bad. I mean, there was also a different voice actor from the UK, and he was on Red Dwarf. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, Red Dwarf. But as for that, who knows if anybody's ever going to remake it? Okay, number 4, that would be Illbleed. And for those of you who don't know Illbleed, that was one of the original video games for the Sega Dreamcast. It takes place in this spooky themed amusement park where there's a bunch of traps and monsters laid out all over the place, and you gotta be able to try and survive all the stages and rescue your friends. It was first released in the Dreamcast, and it had a little bit of reviews for it. Plus there was, Plus it shows you what kind of scenario it is. You gotta be able to keep your scare meter low. You gotta be careful not to lose your health. It was way different than that. It's way different from any kind of survival horror game. Plus it was like spooky theme with a bit of comedy in it. And plus there's this horror monitor where you can help me see what kind of traps there are, or there's no traps at all. That's for what I know from the Sega Dreamcast. Okay, so what's next? Number 3, and that would be Countdown Vampires. They tried to make something different out. This one was released on the PlayStation. Oh no. I'll put that at number 2. Number 3 should be. Here's what number 3 should be: Martian Gothic Unification. This was a science fiction horror survival game that was one of the final games that were released on the PlayStation during its last days. Martian Gothic Unification was set in Mars with 3 astronauts who had to investigate what happened in the Mars colony space station on the red planet itself. They had to be careful, and they had to go through zombies. And yeah, there are zombies, like infected astronauts who ended up dead. And these are ordinary zombies. They only get taken down for a little while. Yeah, no matter how many times you shoot it, they keep coming back. But the main scenario is for the video game. Like, apart from getting out of the space station, the 3 astronauts have to. Oh,
I thought you were trying to take a picture.
No, you get sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, the 3 astronauts have to work together separately, but also leave items behind for the other one. Like you play as all 3 of them. Like when you want to switch your character, you can be able to switch your character. But the main thing is you have to avoid the astronauts while you're in the space station. Because if you do, if you guys get together, it's just going to be like a mutated unification monster scenario. You end up becoming a mutant with all you guys combined, and that's like a game. That's literally a game over. Sorry guys. Okay, so like I said, number 2, Countdown Vampires. It was one of the most Resident Evil-like video games ever. But it takes place inside a casino, and you play as this former police officer turned security guard who has to try and help out a few people who are in the casino. But after you take out the vampire with a dart gun, you have to explore it on white water. I meant to know more about the game before somebody reviewed it, like AVGN, if you guys know what I mean. Kudos to him. And the game was pretty good. Plus there was also this dark tall figure in a hat. Who tried to take out the vampires and try to find out the source of it as well. Oh yeah, there's other bat-like creatures also in the game from what I know. And it was just a 2-disc set. Okay, number 2. Sorry guys. Sorry. Number 1. The one game that really needs to be made like crazy is Fear Effect. And yes, it's a regular PlayStation game, PlayStation original video game. Fear Effect was originally a 4-disc set, and it had with these 3 mercenaries who were trying to find out a missing girl, take her for ransom, and get a big ransom money out of it. But they got into more scenarios when the truth gets deeper than that. And they tried to rescue the girls themselves after realizing what else there is. There was demons, monsters, and that was what Fear Effect was about. But they had good characters. Soon later, a year or 2 later, they had a sequel, which was a prequel called Fear Effect 2: Winter Helix. It was a pretty good game. With their 3D graphics and the way that how how you control the players and well as shooting down the enemies. That's pretty good storyline as well. Shoot, about a few years earlier, like 2015 or 2018, some company called Sussy tried to help reboot the game with a new sequel called Fear Effect Sedna, but it was way different from the original two games. I mean, I liked the storyline, but the gameplay was just completely out of control. They still had the puzzles that you have to solve along the level, but with that, it was just completely a little bit different. And so far, what I know, there was this company that's trying to remake Fear Effect, which is retitled Fear Effect Reinvented. But so far I know that the original voice actress, two of the original voice actors, is going to be coming back for the game. And I managed to catch a glimpse of Fear Effect Reinvented of a video showing a video of the demo playing of it. I first heard about it in 2019, but I haven't heard any much of it ever since. And this has been much more longer than Audible Soulstorm. But they released it about a year ago, and it's pretty good. I'm in a video game store. Take a look what they got. Oh, turn it off. So yeah, that's the one thing about G4 video gaming. Either way, there's nothing wrong with playing a classic video game. I mean, look right here anyway.
Maybe he's not successful. Yeah, I think he was. He was. I'm really good friends. We always obviously. Yeah. And one time she caught us. We didn't catch her on time. She sent us an email for 10 different and she was like, hey, come back to the class.
Simpsons Wrestling. Revolution X. Look at that. A couple of original Resident Evil games. Yep. Nothing wrong with playing a classic. Check this out. Look at that. Game Boy player. For the GameCube. Look at that. That is the Hedgehog.
Yeah, the original Super Mario.
Where is Yoshi? Is Yoshi in here? Yoshi's Island.
Look at that. They even got. There's more classics over here also. There's more classics over there also. Check this out. Yeah, check it out. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bee Machine.
Oh wow. It's great. I've never been here before. It's great.
I like coming here.
Yeah.
Check it out. Original Resident Evil games.
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
Yeah. Oh, Gex. Enter the Gecko.
And this is 6 stars.
Yep. This has officially been the first episode of Revenge of the Self. Hope you guys like it. Sooner or later, I'll have to try somewhere different to try and make the show a little better. But yeah, this is what I can do for G4 right now. Or for the fans of G4. Like I said, and like I heard the saying, when I first heard about it in 2020, we never stopped playing. This has been Revenge of the Show. I'll see you all later.